Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times SNL tackled serious issues.
If the polls continue to molt as they are, we'll all be in hot water.
For this list, we'll be looking at SNL skits and other segments that deal with any kind of real-world topics. This list covers statements made officially by the show itself, not including performers like Sinead O'Connor, who made their own independent protests on air.
Fight the real enemy!
Number 10, the pandemic. In 2020, the pandemic was raging and forced SNL to leave the studio. This particular sketch from the show's at-home episodes features Brad Pitt as Dr. Anthony Fauci, delivering an address as the nation's medical advisor.
First, I'd like to thank all the older women in America who have sent me supportive, inspiring, and sometimes graphic emails.
Pitt nails the matter-of-fact attitude of Fauci, but with a notable twist. He both mocks President Trump's commentary about the pandemic and delivers a send-up of an actual speech in the process.
It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear.
A miracle would be great. Who doesn't love miracles? But miracles shouldn't be plan A. Even Sully tried to land at the airport first.
By the end of the segment, Pitt takes off his wig and thanks his real-life counterpart for his hard work during a scary time in American history.
And to the real Dr. Fauci, thank you for your calm and your clarity in this unnerving time.
Considering the unprecedented circumstances surrounding COVID-19, the writers behind this skit decide to shed any comedy for a moment to talk about the real issue at hand. Number 9, the 2016 US presidential election. Following the divisive 2016 election, Saturday Night Live took aim at the divide between voters. Host Dave Chappelle joins a predominantly white and liberal house party to watch the live results of the contest.
Guys, we're about to have our first woman president. This is gonna be a historic night.
Yeah, it might be a historic night, but just don't forget it's a big country.
As the night goes on, the partygoers make excuses for Clinton's flailing numbers.
Look, early returns are always going to be Republican because Republicans go to sleep early. That's just a fact.
Chappelle's character chimes in with commentary about the feelings of disenfranchised black voters, some of whom knew a Trump victory was possible. Guest performer Chris Rock even comes by to reiterate the host's point.
Oh my God. I think America is racist.
Oh my God.
Only a week prior, the show tackled the election in a sentimental cold open that broke the fourth wall. This insightful sketch ends with some sobering points about the real state of American politics in the fallout of the election. Number 8, Me Too. This 2017 sketch finds cast member Cecily Strong playing a HR representative named Claire on Weekend Update. Her character Claire conducts a number of sexual harassment quizzes with Colin Jost, asking the latter some obvious questions about appropriate conduct in the workplace.
So what is the appropriate way to handle a workplace relationship? A, inform someone at HR. B, lock her in a room and make her look at it. Or C, bully her out of the entire industry.
This all stems from the wave of misconduct that came out that year in the entertainment industry. Framing the skit around the discoveries of the Me Too movement, the script takes a pointed look at an ongoing problem in Hollywood and beyond.
I'm gonna say C.
Yes, leave her alone!
Okay, I'm sorry, are you mad at me?
Strong reveals her disgust in some choice lines and a hilarious gag with a Purell bottle. At the end of the segment, the performer puts into perspective the reality of the abusive behavior plaguing offices everywhere.
All of this isn't just a scandal. It didn't just start last week. It's just actual reality for half of the population. So.
Okay.
Number 7, the police. Host Bill Burr feels right at home in this segment about a football recap show. Burr's panelist Gil Scott mentions that he's the winner of a bet between himself and his co-host, played by Kenan Thompson.
Mr. Hall of Famer here not only called me a stupid idiot for believing in Chicago, but you even bet me a steak dinner at Lombardo's that they'd lose.
The former analyst continues to rub it in, but the latter reveals that he's more focused on the coverage surrounding the police shooting of an unarmed black man. Gradually, it becomes clear that Scott didn't account for the news, preparing ill-timed props and pranks at his co-workers' expense.
And for the big baby?
That's my fault. That's my fault.
What the hell? What is this?
It's a baby bottle. Because I thought you were going to make excuses for the Bucks losing. It was supposed to be funny.
As his co-hosts discuss the serious incident, the presenter tries to offer his last-minute solidarity in a darkly funny piece.
What happened last night is completely unacceptable, and it breaks my heart. What happened to that guy?
What guy?
The guy you were talking about.
Yeah, but what's his name?
This sketch both manages to deal with the pattern of police shootings in America and satirizes the responses to the events. Number 6, How a Bill Becomes a Law. Parodying the classic Schoolhouse Rock program, this funny skit features a child learning about bills in Congress. When President Obama enters the picture, he sends Kenan Thompson's bill down the steps of the Capitol building.
And if I pass the legislative test, then I wind up on the president's desk. And I say,
Both the music and Thompson's priceless reactions amplify this underrated and informative segment.
My legs! They were made of paper!
Bobby Moynihan's executive order smokes a cigarette in another detail that makes for a memorable comedic moment. The greater message of the sketch serves to inform people about the complexities of the American government, all while referencing the Obama administration's plans regarding the status of undocumented immigrants.
Wait, what?
Yep, that's what you're gonna do.
Oh my God, well, I didn't have time to read myself. Whoa! Okay, go big or go home, huh?
Saturday Night Live manages to faithfully recreate children's television and explain the inner workings of the executive and legislative branches. Number 5, Climate Change. For this particular piece, Mike Myers appears as Carl Sagan in a Christmas special focused almost entirely on the effects of climate change, or as it was known in those days, global warming.
Good evening and welcome to my first global warming Christmas special. It's a tradition which I fear will continue for years to come because the way things are going, global warming will be around for a long time.
Many celebrity impressions, including Tom Hanks as Dean Martin, pepper the sketch with added flavour and humour. It's truly ridiculous watching holiday cheer mixed with vital scientific information, but this skit manages to do both.
Our CO2 concentration has risen to 350 parts per million, mostly due to the fossil fuel consumption and the rise in other trace gases.
Methane, nitrogen oxide, and show-based molecules.
Everyone from science fiction writer Isaac Asimov to Dana Carvey's pitch-perfect Paul McCartney comes by to celebrate.
We just thought we'd stop by and do our part, because, you know, this global warming is madness.
The segment was originally aired in 1990, but also received further attention after being re-aired on an episode in 2021. In doing so, it feels more relevant than ever, and especially prescient about climate change, given its original air date. Number 4, Racial Divide. In the 10th season of the show, host Eddie Murphy starred in this pre-recorded segment that played with perceptions of racial divisions in the US.
So I decided to look into the problem myself, firsthand, to go underground and actually experience America as a white man.
The comedian goes undercover with makeup and a wig to experience the world as a white man. He quickly realizes that everything from buying a newspaper to a trip on the bus is seemingly different. Every situation is played up for comic effect, along with a shred of truth underneath it all. Murphy's trip to a bank feels much closer to reality, considering the various inequalities that stem from prejudice and racism.
We don't have to bother with these formalities, do we, Mr. White-Eye?
The discoveries he makes, while played for comedic effect, highlight the difference between races. Number 3, Roe vs. Wade overturned. Before the Supreme Court overturned Roe vs. Wade, a draft opinion was leaked about its impending danger. SNL chose to make fun of one point of the argument that cited a draconian 13th century law.
We go now to that profound moment of moral clarity, almost 1,000 years ago, which laid such a clear foundation for what our laws should be in 2022.
Using the Middle Ages setting, this skit takes viewers back to the absurd and ill-informed moment that inspired Justice Alito's writing. The misguided characters talk about their lives in the 1200s while comically debating abortion.
But if we outlaw abortion, how would we punish the mother? Because she'll need to be punished. She'll be so happy about her crime.
We could always put her in a boat and let her sail off the cliff at the edge of the world.
Cecily Strong acts as a voice of reason, questioning the absurd standards of their medieval world.
Shouldn't women have the right to choose, since having a baby means like a 50% chance of dying?
It wasn't the first time the show pursued the controversial subject, considering Strong also had a compelling Weekend Update segment about the topic. This sketch ultimately provides a farcical critique of the Supreme Court decision. Number 2, hate. Considering Bowen Yang's historic placement on the cast, it's only right that he made this important statement about the rise of Asian hate crimes in the US.
Things for Asians in this country have been bleak for the past 2 weeks, and all the weeks before that since forever.
Joining Colin Jost on Weekend Update, the performer examines the growing issue with both comedy and emotional resonance. He mentions possible avenues to support the Asian community, including a few humorous ways to help on social media.
Here's a list of something I've seen a lot of activists post to amplify these Asian voices who want more Paneras in North Brooklyn.
Yang also uses the segment to detail the greater struggles of marginalized people with nuanced thoughts and a plea for everyone to go the extra mile.
Look, I'm just a comedian. I don't have the answers, but I'm not just looking for them online. I'm looking around me.
Providing SNL with one of its more direct statements about racism, the comedian delivers a stirring monologue about the necessity for humanity and compassion in trying times.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, September 11th and first responders. Given that Saturday Night Live is filmed in New York, the events of September 11th created uncertainty for the future of the program and made the concept of humor itself difficult to comprehend anymore. SNL's first episode after 9/11 starts with an opening address and tribute from Mayor Rudy Giuliani and New York first responders.
On our city's darkest day, our heroes met the worst of humanity with the best of humanity.
This introduction also includes a performance by Paul Simon, bringing the somber scene into perspective with a hopeful message.
Well, I'm leaving, but the fighter still remains,
In one of the highlights of the entire show, producer Lorne Michaels asks Giuliani a now famous question that's answered with perfect timing from the mayor.
Can we be funny? Why start now?
The cathartic moment allowed for a city and a nation to grieve and even laugh together again.